They'd been doing a lot to focus on the issue of human trafficking, but the population that was really receiving the least support in that state was actually the one most at risk.
We are here at Qlik Connect, and I'm with Julie Kae, the Vice President of Sustainability, also the Executive Director of Qlik.org. And I'm also joined with the amazing Ashleigh Chapman. She is the founder and CEO of Engage Together. The two of you did an amazing fireside chat in this morning's keynote, and I was almost in tears, but also really inspired by just the really impactful work you're doing together. Julie, tell me a little bit more, like, how is Qlik working with Engage Together, and how did this partnership start?
Yeah, great question. For over 15 years, we've actually been working with nonprofits around the world on various causes important to our organization and helping them with our software to empower them to use data and the best in technology and intelligence from all of these customers and partners and Qlik employees that donate their time to support their mission so they can use data to go farther and make priorities and help more people.
Amazing. And Ashleigh, tell me a little bit more about how Qlik helps support your organization and helps vulnerable communities.
Yeah, well, I could go on for days on that answer, but basically, we're working with Engage Together to strengthen community-based response to human trafficking. So we'll take on a state as a client or a region, perhaps even an entire country at sometimes, and try to come alongside them to unearth everyone doing anything related to this, to try to see where are their strengths, where are the gaps, who's most at risk in this community and why, and what does that mean to create a better strategy from the legislature down to the local task force. So that's a lot of data.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of data not just gather, but to render, to produce back to that community. And that community is not technologists. So I just describe it like we bake it in all kinds of pies, you know what I mean, for you. Data dashboards, reports, embeds, downloadables, directories. And it took us a long time. We tried several things to try to figure out what's the right technology that we could leverage and software and platform and all of this. And when I saw what Qlik could do, it was a match made in heaven from my perspective, and it has been every day since.
Amazing. Yeah, so Ashleigh mentioned taking data from a lot of different sources, dealing with really complex problems, and the analytics that are necessary to do some of this work. How does Qlik help support that work in really tackling complex problems and data from multiple sources?
Yeah, great question. So we talk a lot about how our customers are breaking down silos within their organization. So they have finance, HR, sales, marketing, all these different departments. And it's important for an organization, in order to move forward, to actually bring data from all of those organizations together in one place. That's how they use Qlik, because our technology is quite adept at bringing disparate data together. When you think about a problem like human trafficking and other issues like climate change or food scarcity, these big complex problems that affect us all, right, that we all think about and we want to solve, it gets even more complex because the data isn't necessarily just in different departments within one organization. Yep. The data exists across different organizations, right? Different government agencies, different nonprofits, different civil society organizations, public data, right? And that's where Engage Together is just such a phenomenal job of being able to leverage the technology that Qlik provides to bring this information together so they can look at a holistic view of the problem, most importantly, where support exists, but where also it doesn't exist. In other words, where are the gaps? What can we fix to actually help this situation? And oftentimes that's in the data that doesn't exist in a community. And that's what Ashleigh and Engage Together have really kind of been able to shed a light on. It's incredible.
It's really amazing. And Ashleigh, can you share a real world use case of how has data changed an individual's life or really helped you guys maybe, help these vulnerable communities a little bit more?
In response to a question like that, I will say, in one state that we were working on, they'd been doing a lot to focus on the issue of human trafficking, but the population that was really receiving the least support in that state was actually the one most at risk. And when we illuminated that, and that was youth aging out of foster care. So in this particular state, hundreds of children aging out of foster care with no bridge to safe or supportive community or opportunities. When we were able to illuminate that through the data, the gaps that we identified, that lit a fire under the state. And so from the governor's office to the legislature to child welfare, we've been working with them now to develop paths to living wage jobs, paths to education, getting universities to the table, businesses to the table, and really changing that entire trajectory. So changing trajectories from preventing exploitation to those who are experiencing it, that's the whole gig.
I mean, that's so inspiring because we talk a lot in data about having real world world impact. But I mean, that takes it to another level when you're really changing people's lives and helping them stay out of really vulnerable situations. Julie, you do this kind of work day in and day out of partnering with amazing organizations like Engage Together. You have 2 titles because you do so many cool things at Qlik. But tell me a little bit more about how Qlik thinks about partnering with organization and the social impact that you've been driving.
So we really break it into kind of 3 specific components. One, from a sustainability angle, we're really focused on being a sustainable business, doing the right things for all of my colleagues at Qlik, our customers, our partners, being good stewards of our planet, reporting the environmental data that needs reporting, both from a regulatory standpoint as well as just, we want to be a part of the solution. Then the next pillar would be, how can we help our customers and partners be sustainable, those that rely on our technology? So we develop solutions, we develop apps, we develop demos to help them measure their sustainability efforts, their programs, their nonprofit work to, again, drive impact, make people aware of it, to inspire more to get done. Third component is through advocacy and partnership. And that's where it comes down to working with organizations like Engage Together. We're all in this together, and we're only going to get farther the more that we collaborate. And so the more that we can talk about an organization like Ashleigh's that's doing great work, it inspires people to get involved. And so it gives people an opportunity to show purpose, to show mission, leveraging their skills, right, in our technology, and at the same time, just give back. And we're all looking for that opportunity to actually make the world that we want.
Yes, I can agree more. I mean, it's really Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we get to do that really important work to that's fulfilling to our purpose. Actually, as a founder and CEO, how do you make sure that these types of partnerships are not just one-off types of partnerships? Because I'm sure a lot of people come through wanting to help, but really making it a long-term sustainable partnership, because that's what it seems to be here.
I think the issue itself lends itself to that, right? I mean, we have 50 million individuals worldwide who are experiencing human trafficking presently, and that means we got a long road to haul to try to turn the tide on this. So it's been actually quite a joy because most of our partners who come alongside stay. And I think that's because we know we're all working in this together. We know we're going to get further, farther, faster together, and the impact is immediate, and that is a ton to celebrate. So every day we'll make it better, and tomorrow we'll make it better after that, and the day after that we'll make it better. And my goal is that at some point we have solved for this, and maybe I'll be like a children's musical theater teacher or something, afterwards. But right now we got a job to do, and it's great to have friends along for that journey.
I love that. And Julie, as we wrap up today, what advice do you have for organizations who are really looking to use data and technology for good?
Oh, great question. I would say the important thing is, again, find good partners, identify organizations that are doing incredible work on the ground. I guarantee you, not many people here at the conference had heard of Engage Together before this week, but now they know. So I really encourage organizations to find kind of partners and really dive in with your people, dive in with your resources, because you can make a world of difference in a short amount of time, and then continue the partnership, and you'll get the returns tenfold to your organization, because everybody at Qlik is very proud of this work, very proud to partner with Engage Together.
Well, I encourage you that if this really spoke to you, definitely be sure to check out Engage Together. I know I already did today, and it's a great place. There's lots of opportunities for every individual to come and take a part and volunteer. So thank you so much, Julie, and thank you, Ashleigh, for your incredible work. I was so happy to have you here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thank you.